So these are my questions for the interview. Why do you do body retrieval?
Right. Throughout my working life, when I was in the armed forces or when I was working in prisons, uh, unfortunately, I faced a number of tragic events where I had to deal with people that had died. I think joined the police and we had the 7/7 bombings in London, terrorist attack in 7/7. Um, I was at King's Cross. There was a major incident. Obviously, there'd been trains blown up in the underground, and I found myself on the police cordons, which in itself is an important job. But personally, myself, I felt there was more I could be doing rather than just standing there preventing people from coming into the scene.
What do you think about before you start?
Uh, there's always a certain amount of apprehension about what you're going to see or what you're going to be asked to do. For example, on the first morning of the Grenfell Tower tragedy, I'll be honest, I got there. Once I got all kitted up and got to the foot of the tower, looked up and it was clearly still on fire. There's loads and loads of little fires going on inside. I mean, the water was pouring out from various places of the building, and to be fair, it didn't look at all safe. There was a small group of us that had been tasked to go in and take out the first of the dead people, those that were easily achievable, those that were good to get, those that had been close to getting out of the building, or unfortunately people that had jumped out of the building. And at this point, I just looked at it, and I just saw me and my colleagues walking into something that was, not as big, but similar to the Twin Towers. We've been asked to go into a building that, quite frankly, didn't look like it was going to stay up. But then your professionalism kicks in. People are expecting you to do something. The people need help. Whether they're deceased or not, you're expected to do something. So professionalism kicks in. I also find it easier to cope with the deceased people as a living being. Obviously not as a living being, but as an individual. They might have suffered some serious trauma, and to be quite frank, sometimes the bodies are not in a particularly nice state. But I think if you're able to treat them like an individual, it sort of like normalises the situation.